Hello everybody, my name is Justin from Small World Gaming, and today we are going to talk about my tournament list. So I know a few of you have asked what exactly I'm playing at tournaments, how well I'm doing, what's working, what's not working. And I'm definitely not playing a conventional list. I'll start out with that because I am primary AdMech. So primary AdMech, what's that mean? Well, I'm not on the greatest start. We'll just put it that way. So if you take a look at the meta right now and you ask yourself, okay, well, what armies are doing really well, what armies are mediocre, and what aren't doing well at all? And the armies that are doing well are going to be your Dark Eldar, your Thousand Suns, specifically like Tzeentch Smite spam, more so than Thousand Suns, but you see Magnus in there. And then just your regular Latok Eldar. Some Tau lists are doing okay. There's like a double flyer list. I forget the name of the flyers. It might be Barracuda. I don't know. There's a double flyer list that's out there doing really well for Tau. But the point is, AdMech is not up there. So AdMech are generally at the bottom. You know, let's say you play in a 100-man tournament, they're probably 50th or below before you see a list, if you see one at all. There's a lot of tournaments where there's not a single AdMech player out there. So I'm kind of fighting an uphill battle, and but it's fun, right? It's a challenge. So in my goal this year is to win a GT or a major level event using an AdMech primary list. And the reason I say AdMech primary, not just AdMech, by the way, is because I've got other detachments. My largest one just happens to be AdMech, and we'll go over what those other detachments are and how they add to my list, and kind of some of the changes it may have made or that I plan on making in the future. Because knights are out, and I definitely have considered adding some, maybe one or more knights to my list, so that could be a possibility. But I'm going to run through it for you. So first of all, my first detachment is an AdMech battalion. It is Stratagems. I do not run Mars, although I have tried it in the past. It's not horrible, but it's not going to get you through those gateway armies. So I do run Stratagems, and what's in this battalion is, first of all, Tech Priest Dominus and a Tech Priest Engineer. Those are my two HQ options. The Dominus I have for the reroll ones on some of the more heavy shooting units I have in the army, and the Engineer is just a cheap HQ option. We don't have very many, so we have either an Engineer, a Dominus, or Call. And since I'm not running Mars, I have a Dominus and an Engineer, and that's it. Those are my two choices. So I take the Engineer as a cheap option. I don't need double Dominus. There's no reason for it. Now, my troop selection is pretty bare bones. I have 3 units of Rangers. Those are the cheapest troops I can get. They come in at 35 points a squad for 5 of them. One of the squads, I have swapped out 2 of the regular Rangers for 2 of the Sniper Rangers. That's the Transuranic Arquebus. That's the 72-inch range, I do believe. Strength 7, AP -2 for D3 damage. If you roll a 6, it's got Sniper Rule, which means you do an additional mortal wound in addition to whatever other damage you do. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they actually do a lot in the game for me, but there is that rare occasion where they finish off a few wounds on a vehicle. They do end up taking that last wound off a character I need for headhunter points, something like that. They always do something in the game, so I still think there's a reason to have them in there. I've even had a game at a tournament where someone really badly, they were playing guard. They wanted the CP battery, so the first model they put down was the guy with Kirov's Aquila and the Warlord trait, whatever it may be, Grand Strategist. And he just put him in the open. And I was like, what are you doing, man? So my next unit was those 2 snipers directly facing him. I got first turn, and I killed that guy. First round of shooting in the game. Yep, he was gone, toast. That doesn't happen often though, but you can get lucky, right? So those are my 3 troop squads. So 3 units of Rangers, some with snipers. And then we go to the elites. The elites are the heavy hitting part of this list. I have 1 elite choice, and that is a 19-man Fulgurite Electro Priest unit. Now, if you are not familiar with what Fulgurite Electro Priests as Styges do, you are in for a rough game, let me tell you. And honestly, I kind of count on it. I count on you not knowing exactly what they do. Because I get to a lot of opponents, I get to a lot of tables, and they're like, what do these guys do? You're infiltrating them? Do they do combat or something? Yep, and they're about to murder your face. They are going to ruin your day. So let me explain to you what they are. On paper, their regular stat line, not so great. They're T3, 1 wound. They've got a 5-up save and a 5-up invul. However, they do also have a 5-up feel no pain. So you almost never, I don't know, you're always taking the invul on them. So you just keep that in mind. And then 5-up feel no pain. They die pretty easy. I mean, even guardsmen shooting at them will make them go away. But what happens is they're deadly efficient in close combat. They're strength +2 in close combat, which means they have a strength 5 weapon. They have no shooting at all. The AP on that weapon is -2. They have 2 attacks each, and the damage is D3. So if you got 20 of these, or 19 in my case, hitting you, each 2 attacks, so that's 38 attacks, strength 5, AP -2, D3 damage, that's a lot of damage they're putting out. But on top of that, any 6 to wound is D3 mortal wounds instead. And let me tell you, when you're fighting with 19 of these guys, they kill anything they touch. It can be a Baneblade, it could be Magnus, Mortarion, the new knight, you know, Castellan, whatever it is, they kill it. Yep, it's dead, doesn't matter. And here's what happens. When they kill a unit in combat, they get a 3-up invul for the entire rest of the battle. So now you've got a 19-man unit sitting in front of you that just killed your cheap guard screen or whatever it may be with a 3-up invul, 5-up feel no pain, and they put out a shit ton of damage when they touch you. You do not want that unit in your face. And I'm running Stratagems, so that means I infiltrate them. So they are 9 inches away from you at the beginning of the game. You have to kill them, otherwise you're gonna lose. I mean, if you do not kill this unit, they are gonna walk through your whole army, unless you can outrun them. So. But they're right in your face. I put them in the middle of the board. I put them on an objective. I put them in a building so you can't shoot them. But if I get first turn, it's game over almost already. So you do not want to give me first turn in a match. You definitely want to be going first. But if I go second, I'm usually hiding them behind line of sight blocking terrain. I'm putting them inside a building so they can't be shot. Different things like that. Just trying to get as much advantage, to keep them alive as long as I can, because they are really the damage output of my list. So the other thing is, let's say I do kill a unit. I've got a 3-up invul. I try my best to keep these guys next to an objective, because at the end of the turn, for 2 CP, I can use a stratagem called Acquisition at Any Cost, which says if I have a unit, an AdMech unit within 3 inches of an objective, I can add 1 to their saving throws and to their attack characteristic. And that means they have a 2-up invul and 5-up feel no pain now with 3 attacks if you charge them. It's not good for the opponent. I feel bad doing it every time, and sometimes I do get unlucky, and maybe I don't kill all the units that I want. But I always declare charge against every unit within 12 inches, as long as I'm not facing Tau anyways. I declare charge against every unit within 12 inches because they have a stratagem that allows them to fight twice. I've done this to so many Dark Eldar players. They keep that big old bundle of Ravagers and Raiders and Venoms all around that one Archon so they can all get your reroll 1s to hit and reroll 1s to wound. I get first turn, I move my Electro Priests in, their tanks don't kill any of them in Overwatch. I kill almost every one of their tanks. The guys inside don't have anywhere to get out, they all die, and then I fight again and kill their Warlord. It's beautiful. It's fun. So that's really a big part of my list, but it's not all of it. So in addition to that, I still have a Castellan robot unit. I have 3 Doc Castellans, so it's triple heavy Phosphor Blasters on each of them. 3 of those guys. They sit back to next to my Tech Priest Dominus. They will delete a unit every turn as long as I'm picking target priority right. And then I also have an Icarus Array Doomcrawler to help with some flyers and things like that. It puts out a decent enough firepower with the reroll 1s that it usually kills something. So that's pretty much my AdMech battalion. That's 5 CP. But that's not where my Warlord's from. My Warlord is actually coming from a Blood Angels battalion. Now I play Carcharodon, so I'm just using my Carcharodon models as Blood Angels. The Forge World Fact said you could do that. You can pick any chapter tactic, whether it's Blood Angels, Death Watch, whatever you want for them. So I play them as Blood Angels. I think that's the most fluffy for Carcharodons who just want to fight in close combat and stuff, for the +1 to wound when they charge. And I have a battalion of Blood Angels as well. So I've got my HQ choices are, I'm sure you can guess, 2 Slam Captains. So 2 Captains, Jump Pack, Thunderhammer, Storm Shield. One of them's got the relic for the reroll charges and no Overwatch, and the other one's got the relic of the Vitas Verte, I think it's called, and that gives you your command points back on a 5-up. So that's my little bit of CP generation in my army. And then I've got 3 units of scouts. Those are my 3 troops, and I don't have anything else in the battalion. Now the 3 scout units are to help me get ideal placement on my Electro Priest when I infiltrate them, because they do come in before the first battle round, so I know if I'm going first or not, and I know if I've seized or not. But what can happen is, especially if you're playing against these Dark Eldar lists, and they're really the ones that you have to worry about, they're usually going to have 3 units of Rangers in that army, and if I don't have scouts, then they're going to completely block out where my Electro Priests go, and it's going to put them in a really bad position to do anything during the game. So I have the scouts in my Blood Angels detachment so that I can put those as forward operatives, and they allow me to block out their Rangers or whatever else my opponent may have, and give me a spot to drop down my Electro Priest when it gets to my turn, hopefully. So that's really the thought process behind them. The Slam Captains are just Slam Captains. They drop down, they kill something guaranteed pretty much every turn. The guy re-rolls his charge. I give him the Black Rage. I do the 3d6 charge. Yeah, he kills whatever he touches pretty much. If I don't kill it, I fight again, potentially. So that's where that comes in. And then my last detachment, and this is a pretty standard Imperial one as well, but it's going to be your Supreme Command detachment of Custodes. So that's going to include your, let's count them up, 1, 2, 3 Shield Captains on Dawn Eagle Jet bikes. So yeah, I know, give me grief. It's not fluffy. It's not, I don't know what you want to call it. It helps win tournaments. So I've won a lot of tournaments using those guys. And I'm really hopeful to win a GT. Now this is the list that I'm going to be bringing to the Flying Monkey GT. That's this weekend on June 22nd, 23rd, if I've got the dates right. Or maybe 23rd and 24th. I don't know. It's the Flying Monkey Con. They have a 40k GT. They've got an Age of Sigmar GT. I think the 40k is actually a major. They're over 58 players, so that'll be super awesome for the points. I am trying to win Best AdMech player this year. I won Best Dark Mech last year, but like I said in a previous video, not a lot of competition. So I am going for Best AdMech this year, so we'll see if we can get it done. The Bug Eater score, I almost placed first, so that's going to be... I didn't place first, almost got there as top table, but... that's going to help out a lot. This Flying Monkey score will help out. And then after Flying Monkey, I'll be heading down to Warzone Houston. So that's pretty much the gist of the list. My strategy is to go first and win, roll 6s, you know, general things like that. If I don't go first, well, I hope for the best, right? No, I'm just kidding. I do have a pretty good strategy, I think, in mind. There's some outlier lists that do give me trouble. Dark Eldar is always going to give you trouble. They're really the top of the meta right now in terms of competitive games. But I'm trying to think of ways that I can beat them. You know, and I think after this tournament coming up, one of my first videos, aside from a recap from the tournament, is going to be how to beat Dark Eldar. And maybe try to think of some ways that you can counter these lists, because, man, they are tough. And I'll be honest with you, I predict that Dark Eldar will win the tournament. If I don't, then god damn it, they better. So they deserved a good codex. I'm glad that they're doing well in this edition. So let me know what you guys think of my list. Let me know if you have any better suggestions, things that you would bring instead, how you might use the list, what you have in your AdMech armies. Let me know, and we'll see you after the tournament, because I don't believe I'm going to be able to upload any videos until I get back, so it'll probably be Monday the next time you see me. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.